Now, there's a great distinction. I'll come back to the Boulets because the state of Israel is using the Boulay. There's a difference between an Israelite versus an Israeli. Well, let's start with the latter. An Israeli is a present day citizen of the state of Israel. Now, the state of Israel, I'm not talking about the nation of Israel, but the state of Israel is only 77 years old, going back to 1978. The nation of Israel is not just 3,000 to 4,000 years old. The nation of Israel actually has no age, like the Torah has no age. So a lot of theologians will say the Torah is 3,339 years old when God gave it to Moshe or Moses. Well, it's ageless. So the nation of Israel is the black diaspora here in this country and the black diaspora around the world. I'm not making this a race connotation, but let the truth be told. So the original Hebrews were black. Noah did not have a son named Semitic or Sem. See, there's a difference between a Shemite versus a Semite. A Shemite, the oldest son of Noah, a Shemite is an Israelite of the original Hebrews who were black. Abram, who became Abraham, Abram, father, Ham means covenant. So God processed Abram out of the Ur of the Chaldees. So Abram, Raymond the Bush, came from the Ur of the Chaldees, which is present-day Iraq. Then God told him, pack up your bags. All you need is a compass and a suitcase. There's a land I want you to occupy. But there are Amalekites, Ammonites, Ekronites, Canaanites in the land of milk and honey. Okay. Now, these white Jews today, see, people think I'm an anti-Semite. No, when you're teaching truth, then they call you an anti-Semite. My right-hand person on our staff, Sister Lisa, Dr. Lisa Goldstein, she's a Jew. Okay. So the Jews of today, they're only Jewish by conversion. The Khazarians, which go back centuries, out of Turkey, Mongolia, from the central part of China through the Han Dynasty. Then they immigrated to Eastern, Central, and Western Europe. Eastern Europe as Ashkenazi Jews, Western Europe as Sephardic Jews. Okay, those are not evil words. This is just the truth, a part of the Immaculate Deception in history. So you and I are Shemitic. So Shem's name was not Semitic. Well, where did that term Semitic or Semite come from? On the website of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, they don't hide it. They say that the term Semite or Semitic was concocted and created by a German philosopher during the late 1700s, but they don't name the philosopher, but I will. Dr. August Ludwig von Schlosser was paid by the Rothschilds to create a term called Semite, Semitic, or that which is Semitical. And that's not an evil word, but it was concocted in the late 1700s with Rothschild money through a German philosopher, Dr. August Ludwig von Schlosser. So when people say Semite or being anti-Semitic, that term Semitic is not authentic. It was concocted by a German philosopher in the late 1700s. Dr. August Ludwig von Schlosser.
Turn your pastime into your full-time. Your personal style into your signature brand. Do it yourself. Create your website on Wix.
Connect
Connect with a financial advisor at Thrivent.com, where money means more.
So then there's a great difference between Shemites, you and I, versus Semites, our beautiful Israeli brothers and sisters today. But the current state of Israel, those people whom we love, they are not true Hebrews. This is a reason why their prime minister, who is a devil, okay, Benjamin Netanyahu, whose real name is Malachowski from Poland, he's Polish, okay? His administration enacted a law a few years ago that it is forbidden for anyone to get a DNA, RNA testing. Why? Because they don't want you to know that they're not the original Abrahamic seed. So today's Jews who we love, they're Polish, okay? They're Turkish Khazarian, they're Mongolian, they are Ashkenazi, they are Sephardic, but they're not Hebraic by blood, no Jewish by discipline. For you theologians, between Malachi and Matthew, in God's word, is called the 400 silent years. God no longer spoke to the earth because of her sin. This is how our people lost the Torah. This is how our people lost the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? A leader out of Rome who called himself Leo the Khazar was sent by the Roman government to destroy Jerusalem. This is between Malachi and Matthew. To take the Ark of the Covenant and to take it to Rome. To take the scroll, the Torah, and call it their own. They took it to Rome. And then down through the centuries, through what we call the black nobility, the 13 families, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Oppenheimers, okay? The Farneses, the Orsinis, okay? The Coronas. These people are not true-blooded Hebrew. Now, if we want to get technical, Abram was not a true-blooded Hebrew. Abraham was Chaldean. He came out of the Ur of the Chaldees. So Hebrew is not a bloodline. Jew or Jewish is not a bloodline. Every Hebrew is a Jew, but not every Jew is a Hebrew. Abraham or Abram came up out of, which would be called Iraq. I've never been challenged by a rabbi. I've never been challenged by, I'm begging them to debate. They won't do it. Because they know I would decapitate them educationally. So then, the immaculate deception in history, the beautiful Israeli people, they don't want Zionism. Zionism was created by the Rothschilds through a man that they contracted in 1797, a man by the name of Theodor Herzl, who created the paradigm of Zionism. Theodor Herzl, who was an atheist, had said that God told him that the land belonged to these Khazarians. But yet, wait a minute now. But Herzl was not just a bona fide racist. Herzl was an atheist. But what is called Palestine or the land of Israel was not the first choice of Zionists. Their first choice was Uganda. They wanted Uganda, okay, not just from a political standpoint. Uganda carries most of the gold throughout Africa. Now, as a side point, we have to stop calling ourselves African. That's not the name of the original continent. The name of the original continent was called Alkebulan, which means the Garden of Eden. And what Rome did during the Second Punic War in 202 BC, through a man by the name of Leo Scipio Africanus. Now, you got black folk, no, the name Africanus was confirmed. No, that was the last name of a white Roman family. See, black folk, they don't want to give up that title. Okay, Africa. So Leo Scipio Africanus built the first underground dung tunnels for the trafficking of children. So you got, wait a minute now, 30, 40 million black folk in this country, not you and I, calling ourselves after the name of a former slave master and calling ourselves after a pedophile, Leo Scipio Africanus. Down the road, there was Louis Africanus, whose real name is Abin Muhammad Hassan, slave traders. So let's remove the term Alkebulan, which means the Garden of Eden, and let's call ourselves after the name of our former slave masters. Here's the difference between us, true Jews, true Hebrews, versus those who we love, but they're Khazarians. The Khazarians, they constantly change their name. The other day, have you heard of, we had exposed this during our Global Masterclass, those amongst the Third Reich, Joseph Goebbels, one of the most evil men in history. So my staff, not just here, we have a small staff of researchers in New York who also take care of my speaking engagements every other day. I'm on some radio show or podcast by phone or by Zoom somewhere from around the world. So technically I'm booked until October of 2027. But I felt the leading of the Holy Spirit to be here today with you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So the immaculate deception of history. So then, we love our Israeli brothers and sisters, but Joseph Goebbels, that wasn't his real name. He was Adolf Hitler's right-hand man. The real name of the Goebbels bloodline was called Bendix, Bendix, which is an Ashkenazi name. Joseph Goebbels was a Khazarian. Hitler's real name is Hiedler, but he had Rothschild blood because his grandmother, who was raped by a Rothschild, she was, you know about this, she was a housemaid for the Hamburg, Germany Rothschilds. She conceived Adolf Hitler's father. So that's why Hitler went into, not just the Rhineland, went into Austria, because the governor of Austria was keeping all of those records, not just on the true bloodline of Adolf Hitler, but the bloodline of the Third Reich. Most of them were Ashkenazic. That's why they went to war, to hide that. That's why they invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939, to destroy that. Because that's where they're from.
The history.
The history. See, when you look, people are talking about.
So it's kind of like why they invaded Iraq and went straight to museums.
Went straight to the
Yeah.
That's it. You see? Hitler's a Rothschild. Goebbels is Ashkenazic. Okay? We've been lied to. And Benjamin Netanyahu, he's Polish. We love the Israeli people, but they hate Zionism. They don't want it. So how?
Elemis Pro Collagen Marine Cream SPF 30. One step to hydrate and protect. Infused with marine actives to transform skin and self. See change. Available at elemis.com.
Shop now at WT.com.
So how is it that this small country has got the United States by the testicular fortitude? We got to break that. We're not talking about the everyday Israeli Jewish people. I'm talking about the Zionist demons. Okay? So Zionism, you go back to 1917, the Balfour Declaration. You've heard of it. Sir Arthur Balfour, a British politician. He was subservient to his handler, Walter Rothschild, of the British Rothschilds. So Walter Rothschild had bought the land, which is now called the State of Israel, and first gave it to Great Britain, okay, called the UK-Palestine Agreement. And then after World War II, 3 years after World War II, 1948, let's give it to a people born in Turkey, but migrated to the state of Israel, to the nation of Israel, born within the Mongolian Empire, but moved to Palestine, born amongst the people of the central part of China, the Han Dynasty. So the state of Israel, not the people, the state of Israel is a fabrication. Because it was built in Turkey, Mongolia, Han Dynasty in China, moved to Germany, Ashkenazi, moved to Central and Western Europe, Sephardi, and let's give them a land that they have no genetical, no legal right to. Okay. That's why they got these wars. In the state of Israel, not the nation, but the state of Israel is only 77 years old, going back to 1948. But they are incorporated, the state of Israel, out of London, England. Wait a minute, I'm confused. How is it that we've been Jews? Oh, these are God, and everyone's God's people. But we've been told they're the Jews, they are the true Hebrews. But the government, the state of Israel, a fabrication, has its corporation status out of London, England, controlled by the British Crown, King Charles. And the state of Israel was exposed in the Panama Papers, the Paradise Papers, okay, and the Pandora Papers of having a P.O. box out of the Cayman Islands and also out of the British Virgin Islands, which holds billions of dollars throughout Caribbean banks connected to MI5, MI6 out of London, to the Mossad. All of this is coming down. And where Charlie Kirk's death has done, see, it has backfired against the Mossad. We love our Israeli brothers and sisters, but they are not the ancient Israelites, and they know it.